Rabbi Levi Avtzon from South Africa has a very valid point in his little article, which he calls, "Is there anything wrong with arguing?" Little story. Chaim came back from a long trip in the city of Minsk. Meets his friend and he says, "Minsk, a crazy city." Why? What did you notice that Minsk is so crazy? He says, "Look, I'll tell you the people that I met there. I found a socialist, a communist, a devout religious Jew, a Chassid, a Misnagid, a Zionist, a Bundist, a leftist, a rightist, a devout religious man, a secular humanist, a closed-minded, in-the-box person, and a free thinker." Now, what's wrong with this? Isn't this the normal makeup of a Jewish community? Yes, says Chaim, but you don't get it. This was all the same person. We, as Jews, are highly opinionated. We have opinions about everything and everyone, and we are not afraid to share those opinions. And we tend to argue about it. And we have to make sure that our opinion is the one which is accepted. Or so we think. So the question is there anything wrong with that? Is there anything wrong with being opinionated? Is there anything wrong with having difference of opinions? When we go back in Torah, we see that arguing was an integral part of the system. To the point that Avraham Avinu was, quote unquote, arguing with God. Came to destruction of the city of Sodom. He told God, "How about if there is 50? Will you spare the city because there's 50 righteous people? 40, 30, 20. Moshe Rabbeinu was continuously arguing with God on behalf of the Jewish people. No need to mention that we're coming into a synagogue. They tell this famous story about there was a big fight in a synagogue, what the particular custom of that Shabbat is in that community. The world is coming to an end. Finally, the rabbi says, "My guys, can everybody calm down? And I will tell you what is the custom of this particular community." Finally, calm, and the rabbi says, "I want you to know, my friends, my congregants, this is our community, that everybody says something else. This is our custom." So is there anything wrong with that? Now, obviously, arguing about foolishness is inappropriate. Having difference of opinions, of understanding important things, is not only accepted, it's encouraged. The whole Torah is given on the basis of exchanging ideas. There are fundamentals, obviously. Judaism is right, Torah is right, God exists, and so on. These are fundamental, nothing to argue about. But interpretations can be open for arguments. The Talmud has, Rabbi Shmuel says one opinion, Rabbi Akiva says another opinion, and so on. So here we come to a very beautiful thought on the parsha of this week. We're going to receive the Torah. Says the pasuk, on the third day, on the third month, on Rosh Chodesh, when they came out from Egypt, they traveled Mirafidim, Vayovoyo Midbar Sinai. They came to the desert of Sinai. Vayachanu Bamidbar, and they camped in the desert. They, the Jewish people. But then it says, Vayichan Shom Yisrael, and he, in singular form, camped Neged Hohor. And Rashi immediately points out, why suddenly here in singular form? Says Rashi, because this time, every other camping was with arguments, was with difference of opinions, with complaints. This time, ki ish echad belev echad, like one person with one heart. And therefore, says the Medrash, that God said, not that because they unified in one heart, this is the time to give the Torah. To tell us, within Torah, difference of opinions, valid ones, are accepted. But we have to understand, we have to have one heart with the other. the unity, the understanding, the appreciation that we're all one people, we're all children of the same God. We say, please, Father in heaven, our Father, bless us all as one, says the Mefarshim, because we are one. The greatest blessing is that we are one. That's how we receive the Torah. Yes, we can understand it differently. Yes, we can interpret it differently, obviously according to the proper rules of Torah interpretation. But we have to love, appreciate, and accept and recognize each other. One heart. It is this one heart of the Jewish community which will take us out of this exile and will have the new dimension of Torah now with and through Mashiach.